and the All Blacks await their date with destiny.
We're officially on our way to the grand final. The All Blacks securing their spot with a 44-6 victory over Argentina in Paris. We unpack everything that unfolded and take a look at what lies ahead. Kia ora, I'm Cheree Kinnear, and this is Beyond the Game. Welcome into the New Zealand Herald's Rugby World Cup video news show. I'm joined by News Talk ZB rugby commentator Elliott Smith. We're outside Stade de France where the All Blacks have just secured themselves a spot in the Rugby World Cup grand final. Now, many doubted that this team would make it this far, Elliott. I don't think you and I can actually stand here honestly and say we had 100% faith the whole time, but they've done it and they're now on the brink of making history.
They are, and you're right. If we go back to the first one of these shows that we did back on September 9th, I think it was, when they lost to France 27-13, I think the All Blacks would have snapped your arm off if you'd offered them a World Cup final from there. But it's credit to them. They've got through, obviously, last week's really tough game against Ireland, and then just did the job they needed to do against Argentina tonight. They weren't as good as they could have been, but they didn't need to be. Argentina were poor. The All Blacks didn't really need to get a second gear. And it's good enough to get them in a Rugby World Cup final.
Yeah, they certainly weren't pushed the same as they were in that quarterfinal against Ireland. And I guess because of that, we didn't maybe see the same intensity from the All Blacks. But what do you think they could be most proud of from this performance?
Well, there's a lot of talk this week about 2019 and the loss there, but didn't seem to affect them. And they just came out, repelled the early Argentina onslaught, which was always going to be, and that's where Argentina, if they had a chance in this game, they needed to score early, put some pressure on the All Blacks, and it just didn't really happen. They had a couple of periods where they put the All Blacks under pressure, but didn't get the points reward. They were whistled out of the game a wee bit by Angus Gardner, I think it's fair to say, and the All Blacks took their chances early and got to that early 12-3 lead, just put a bit of pressure on Argentina, scored again before half-time, and that was really the game done. So I think for the All Blacks, they didn't really have to show too many tricks tonight compared to last week, and that'll leave them a bit in the arsenal as they head to the World Cup final next week.
Well, we heard from some of the players after the game, so let's take a quick look at what they had to say.
I sat there sort of 2 minutes ago going, this feels better, and this is 4 years of pain, and then I felt energised by the opportunity, and it just feels so good. And I'm just blessed as a rugby player, and our boys are as well, and there's not much you can say about the opportunity ahead of us. This is why you play rugby, is to play in a final, to win a cup, and to win a very special cup is so exciting.
It's the cream of the crop, it's where sort of as a kid you dreamed of being in these moments, and got so close in 2019 to be cut short, but to finally get there this time around, we want to go all the way, but we know how hard that's going to be and the preparation at hand.
It's massive. I guess it's the goal that we've set for the last few years, and I guess to finally have it in our sights is quite surreal. It's been an awesome few weeks of prep the last couple of weeks, and the boys went pretty good tonight, so we'll look to reset and get into it next week.
It was always going to be a different kind of lift we had to do tonight, and different opposition, different stakes, and obviously the conditions are a lot different as well. It was very slippery, and it was also a little bit muggy, so that kind of changed the game. But the stakes were high for us in the sense of mentally and emotionally where we went to last week, and it was up to us to nail our plan, and our plan was executed. We couldn't ask for much more than what we got.
One of the few changes that Ian Foster made to his side this week was having Sam Whitelock start and Brodie Retallick on the bench. I think he came in at around the 60th minute. Do you think that worked out well, and do you think Foster will look at maybe replicating that next week?
I think Sam Whitelock will go back to the bench next week, in all honesty, but I think it did the job that they needed to for tonight, and I think they took a weak calculated risk there, if I'm honest, the All Blacks, and went with Brodie Retallick to start with Sam Whitelock. Brodie Retallick coming off the bench with Sam Whitelock and Scott Barrett starting. What it's done is just allow Brodie Retallick to get some minutes, but still freshen himself up for next week. There could have been a risk, and they might have been playing a bronze medal final next week, but as it is, they've got what they needed to out of that one. Sam Whitelock plays probably his last ever start for the All Blacks, and Scott Barrett Well, he got himself 10 minutes in the bin and 5 minutes at the end where they didn't replace him as well once he came back out on the park, or didn't come back out on the park. So I think they were pretty happy with how that worked for them tonight. A wee bit of luck on that side, but it worked for them in the end, the All Blacks.
We do need to touch on Jordie Barrett as well. Great game from him, player of the match as well. He'll be chuffed with tonight's performance.
Yeah, he should be very proud of that performance. A lot of running meters, set up a couple of tries, just an all-round excellent performance from Jordie Barrett, who continues to grow in the second five jersey. Only got it just over a year ago now, but is looking really at home at second five for the All Blacks. And whoever they play next week, he's going to be a key cog in that mix for the All Blacks, the way he performed tonight. Will Jordan bagged himself 3 tries, now got 8 tries for the tournament, 1 more next week, and he's the leading try scorer in any Rugby World Cup, which would be pretty special. But job done for the All Blacks, and yeah, Jordie Barrett, the two Geordies, Jordie and Jordan, did a very good job for them tonight.
They definitely did. Now, there are a few areas the All Blacks will want to look to clean up. Richie Mo'unga missed a number of conversions tonight, and as you mentioned before, they also considered that yellow card. Do you think those are some of the key things that will come up when it comes to review time?
Yeah, I think so. I think the yellow cards will frustrate them. They conceded 2 last week, and tonight's one, Scott Barrett slapping the ball down, rather unnecessary, didn't need to happen. It did, on the upside, allow the All Blacks just to try a couple of things and challenge themselves. They didn't get a lot of challenge out of Argentina tonight, so they played the last 15 minutes with just 14 men. The game was gone though, so how much of a challenge is that is really the question. And the goal kicking was off tonight. It was really good last week. We saw Jordie Barrett have a shot last week, Richie Mo'unga as well. It was just off tonight for whatever reason. That needs to be tidied up, because you feel next week, whoever they play, it's going to be a game where goal kicking will really matter.
For now, the All Blacks will take the win and soak it up. Meanwhile, the fans were out in full force again tonight, just under 78,000 here at Stade de France. We caught up with a few of them after the game.
This is so amazing. I have no regrets about coming to France. This is the best! Yes!
It was long coming. It's been a while, so I'm really happy, really excited, especially because my friend is from Argentina.
Yeah, and we go back like 6 months and we're all a little nervous, but there it is, in the final.
You know what I mean? Just so proud to be actually standing there in the stadium and just really proud with the jersey that we have, and the boys did really well, so yeah.
Yeah, it's super sad because we came here with some hopes of making at least a good match. It didn't come our way, but we think we're also playing against an incredible team.
Argentina played well, but the All Blacks were the All Blacks.
The Pumas, at the start, we think that they could win the match, but when All Blacks start to play us with his game, it's really difficult.
We'll see you in the final.
No, South Africa. I mean, All Blacks versus South Africa. Don't worry
Absolutely ridiculous. We'll never see you in the final. We'll see the All Blacks in the final. Good luck.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win the game. What a nice game today it was. So I'm looking forward for the final. All Blacks!
Gotta love the fans after a game like that. Now, the All Blacks won't be heading into, quote, the crap week that they were potentially, or they were worried about heading into this week. But what will the next sort of few days look like for the team?
Well, I think it'll be a valuable extra day off they'll get over either South Africa or England. They can bank that. They managed to take some of their key players off early and keep them fresh ahead of next week, and I think they'll just take it as it comes. A few of these players have played World Cup finals before. They know the pressure that's going to await next week, but some it's going to be completely new to them. So there'll no doubt be sharing of experiences and how that works. But whatever the All Blacks are doing at the moment, it's working, and we'll see if that continues in the World Cup final.
Yeah, big week ahead. Thank you so much, Elliott, for your time and insight. We'll be keeping you up to date throughout the build-up to the Rugby World Cup Grand Final. We will see you then. Thanks so much for tuning in to Beyond the Game.